Yo, what's going on, guys? And as you can tell by the title and thumbnail, it's time for that Dai Sensekai, because we just got a brand new buff for EX Zoro in One Piece Bounty Rush. It's about to be a whole 3 years since Zoro's original release in 2023, but these buffs have turned this guy into a monster yet again. I've been testing Zoro over my past few live streams at level 100 with various metal sets and playstyles, and I'll share with you guys what I've learned in the many hours I've played with him. We will cover his entire kit, how to use him effectively in the current meta, best support tags and metals, counters, and whether he's worth your rainbow diamonds. So hit that like button and let's dive straight in. Starting with his basic kit, I will say EX Zoro is a 5-star difficulty character to use. This is the same reason why many people right now are saying that his buffs aren't even that good and saying that overall Zoro's buffs haven't improved him at all. This just isn't true, and the reason why a lot of people are saying this is because Zoro has a high skill ceiling. This means that the more you learn with Zoro and the better you get, the better Zoro gets. Anyways, EX Zoro is a red color changing attacker who excels in mid-range combat and perfect dodges. He was the first character in Bounty Rush to ever have the color changing trait, and this essentially allows him to have elemental advantage at almost any time since he's able to change his color. Even though his base element is red, he could change into blue and green element when needed to in order to overpower the enemy. But now that dark and light elements exist, he will always be weak to light, which we'll talk about later. Zoro changes his element through his skill 2. If an enemy attacks you while you're holding down the skill, Zoro switches to the color stronger than that enemy. For example, if a blue unit hits me while I'm holding skill 2, Zoro becomes green since green is strong against blue. For Zoro's normal attacks, you can do the basic 3-hit combo or hold down your basics for his hold normal. His basics are essential for his whole kit to work, and here's why. After his buffs, he essentially has infinite lives if you play him correctly. When you get a perfect dodge, you get 30% HP recovery. Combine that with his other trait, 15% HP recovery after dealing damage 4 times in 3 seconds, and his survivability becomes insane. So landing 1-2, 1-2 basics or connecting most of your skill 2 will let Zoro heal a ton. Even though his 1-2, 1-2 is the bread and butter you want to go for, don't be afraid to do that 1-2-3 because it does come in handy to knock people down and get some range on them. Remember, you have your hold normal, so timing the hold normal attack to when they're getting up could let you keep the enemies on the ground in order to stall time. On top of that, he now has a trait that leaves him at 1% HP if you were above 20% when you took damage. This lets him survive big damage skills and recover up just by attacking and perfect dodging. His skill 1, 3-sword style Purgatory Onigiri, is a long-range invincible dash that hits pretty hard, but be careful since it is easy to dodge or counter. I like using it to finish a basic combo like 1-2, 1, and then skill 1. It also comes in clutch for escaping skills like Kizaru's skill 1. Skill 2, Demon Aura 9-sword style Ashura Blades Drawn Dead Man's Game. That is a mouthful, but we're just gonna call it Dead Man's Game, and this is a hold skill, but you basically want to use it like a counter. While holding it, if an enemy hits you, Zoro turns into the color stronger than their element. As soon as you color change though, don't waste any time. Release the skill immediately or they'll have time to dodge or counter. Light elements are the exception here though, since light beats blue, red, and green, so Zoro can't convert against light. And dark doesn't change Zoro either because red, green, blue is always strong versus dark. Remember, the more hits you land with the skill 2, the more you will heal. I'll talk about the best ways to use this skill and the rest of his kit right after we cover his traits. We already mentioned Zoro's color changing, his heals, and his survivability. Again, he now heals 30% on perfect dodge and an extra 15% from landing 4 hits in 3 seconds. That second trait sounds hard to activate, and it kind of is unless you use your skill 2 correctly, but we'll talk about how to effectively use this trait in a second. Zoro also got 2 other crazy buffs that make him a monster. First, he has 80% status effect reduction, meaning freeze, petrify, anti-heal. All of that gets removed super fast. During skill 2, he even nullifies status effects completely, which is a buff I was asking for forever. He also got a buff that lets him nullify extra lives for any elements he's strong against, and because he's color changing, this applies to a ton of heroes. The biggest victim here is Saturn. This man just came out a few months ago and Zoro obliterates him no matter how many extra lives he stacks. Let's talk about how to actually play EX Zoro effectively. A lot of people say Zoro is bad, and that's because he's a 5-star difficulty hero. In order to make the most of his kit, you basically need to play him perfectly. That means landing perfect dodges, baiting enemy skills so you can color change with skill 2, and using your 1% HP trait smartly by healing yourself back above 20% with his basics and perfect dodges. After landing your perfect dodge, not only do you get 30% HP recovery, but you also do a little backstep long range attack that you can then follow up with your skill 1, or you could do your 1-2 combo in order to get even even more heals on top of the perfect dodge heals already. The best way to play Zoro is to use his hold normals at mid-range to break shields and remove traits like Kizaru's 97% HP trait. When the enemy gets close and aggressive though, you can use your skill 2 to color change if you need, skill 1 if you need to create distance from someone strong like Kizaru, or just pressure with your basics. Again, don't be afraid to use his third normal attack, so even though 1-2-1-2 is his bread and butter, you can go ahead and use the third normal attack to knock people down and get some distance on them in order to start your mid-range attacks. You can also try sniping people with skill 1 and just targeting enemy runners from annoying your team. Unfortunately, Zoro does get countered by heroes that can overpower him. Guaranteed KO heroes ignore his 1% HP trait, so Kamisari Shanks will KO you if you're under 30% HP, and Shiryu will guarantee KO you regardless of your HP. Garp and Kizaru's can shred your HP with their skills, but make sure you're landing your perfect dodges and basics because you can beat them. But the worst matchup possible for Zoro are light elements like Gear 5 Luffy and Egghead Chopper. Just run. It's damn near impossible to beat them. Let's talk about the support and medals you should be rocking for Zoro. For the support, even though he's color changing, Zoro's main attribute is red. Definitely build up your red support, and luckily red is one of the easier elements to build up. Focus mostly on your support percent here. Tags don't really matter that much, but Zoan tag will help with damage reduction against colors he's weak against, so like light elements and of course whatever color you switch into. New world support is also great since it boosts damage to enemies with the element you're weak against, which synergizes with this color changing. For medals, I tested triple Luffy HP attack, triple Luffy attack defense, triple Boa HP attack, CP9 crit, triple Kaido HP defense, and even a cracked custom attack damage increase set. This medal set is pretty broken because I used the new 5% damage increase to worst gen medal traits that you get from the event missions right now, and I put all 3 in a medal to get extra 15% damage. The actual limit to damage increase is 30%, so having 15% just regularly for Zoro will pretty much guarantee him to have that 30% limit to damage increase at all times. With this medal set, I was doing a lot of damage, but I didn't build any HP and defense on it, so if you build this, make sure you land your perfect dodges all the time. But honestly though, after using all these different medal sets, none of them felt noticeably different. The matches where I really performed the best were simply the matches where I was locked in, landing perfect dodges, and hitting my basic attacks consistently. So overall, even though Zoro might get cooked 50% of the time by Kizaru just like any other character, you're going to have a lot of fun improving with him, getting used to his combos, perfecting his perfect dodge, and mastering his kit. He has a high skill ceiling, meaning the more you improve, the better Zoro becomes. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the guide and found it useful. I see too many people dismissing Zoro's buffs and calling him weak, so I wanted to clear up his playstyle. Definitely leave a like if you did enjoy, subscribe to the channel if you're new, join the Discord, all that good stuff, and I'll catch you guys in the next live stream or video. Peace.